कर लो तुम पहले कर लो। मैं वीडियो क्यों बनाऊं? मेरे वीडियो बनाने का क्या फायदा? वैसे भी मुझे कौन देखता है? Into July, so I decided to show you all the books that I read in the month of June because I read 10 books surprisingly, and I loved a few of them. I also found my very first, no, I actually found my second most favorite book of the year, and actually first most favorite book of the year, but one book that I would not stop recommending anybody forever now. So that is one thing that I really discovered this month. So I'm very excited to film this video because I have a lot to talk about. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into the video and talk about all the books that I've read this month. I mean the previous month, and by the time this video goes up, it will already be the second week of July if I'm not wrong. So let's just dive right into the video. The sun is out today. I decided to finally shoot this video. I know it's late, but again, also if you're hearing some noises out here, I'm really sorry. I can't help because there's a construction going right next to our home, so I can't stop that to happen. But at the same time, I can't stop making videos. That is the reason I had no choice but to film this. Okay, so the first book, and by the way, these books that I'm going to show you are in no particular order. Like, talk about all the books that I read in June. So let's talk about the first book, which is Janaka and Astavakra by Ashraf Karayat. I have already given a full review of this book on my Instagram. If you haven't already read that or watched the reel associated with this book, I think you should definitely go. And there's also a live, I think by the time this video goes up, the live, what do we call it, like giveaway is going to end, but even then we also organized a giveaway for this book and also some other miscellaneous things. So yeah, this book was a very great experience of me getting to know Janaka, who is Sita's father, and also Ashtavakra. Ashtavakra is basically a disabled or differently abled sage of that age, and it is a mythological book. We've always known about Sita and Ramayan and Ram and aftermath of Sita getting married to Ram and whatever happened. But we have never known who Janaka is, who Sita's father is, and all of those things. So I think this book is a very fresh recommendation for everybody who wants to get deeper into Sita's life. So yeah, this is a very nice peek into the lives of Janaka and Ashtavakra and their bond and yes, I do highly recommend this book to people who are very much into Indian mythology and they want to know deeper and they want to dive deeper into the Indian mythology, especially in the Ramayan era. I think this is a very beautiful retelling of a lot of things. A lot of this book has a lot of depth, and the author has tried his best to portray so much through only these many pages, and I'm really impressed by the book. And it's basically a page turner, honestly. Next book is again The Game of Choices by Anish. This is basically a cricket centric book. So people who are, I think India is very well known for celebrating cricket as a festival. Or this recommendation is for every other cricket fanatic. Maybe your father loves watching cricket or your brother loves watching cricket, but they do not know what goes behind sometimes, about betting during cricket or about match fixing and stuff. So this book is going to come into rescue for all those people who are very much interested into knowing the fixing thing and the betting thing and how those choices that somebody makes in life can literally change and make their world go upside down completely. So this is that kind of a book, and I was so basically I'm not interested into cricket or any sports for that matter. I know it's quite maybe a bummer or a shame, but I am not really into sports in general. But when I read this book, I was not introduced to a lot of new terms in from cricket that I didn't already know. But at the same time, I was introduced to this entire world of betting and fixing that I had no clue about. I always knew that there's a match fixing happening, so we already know who's going to win because there's a fixing happening in the game. I knew about it, but what is exactly that and how it happens and how do people earn from that and all of those things. This book is a very insightful read for cricket lovers, and yeah, I do recommend this book. This is a very beginners friendly, not a lot of heavy and tough language used for you to understand and comprehend. So highly recommend it, of course. Is The Head and the Heart, Aishwarya Iyer. I have already spoken a lot about this book. This is a poetry collection. It's about heartbreak. If you're going through a breakup and you want to read something relatable, I think this is one book. And for somebody like me, I myself, I'm having a very healthy, stable relationship. Even then, I was very sad as if I had a breakup or something like that. So if you're, although I will not recommend for people who have gone through a heartbreak to read this book, but again, it is very relatable if you are going through a heartbreak and you want to read something very sad and destructive, but in a very poetic way. So yeah, this is a poetry prose collection written by Aishwarya Iyer, very well done. And I really enjoyed reading it. Very thin book also, so beginners friendly at the same. Recommend again. Yeah. The case Nails and Eyes by Kauri Fujino have spoken about it multiple times, loved it, very disturbing and extremely eerie, bizarre. I don't know how to describe this book, but this is a collection of three short novellas. I think this is a novella in itself, but yeah, three short stories, if that is how I should put it. Really liked reading this book. Why? Because it was very different from what I generally read, and at the same time, the three stories have something to deliver, like not a moral, obviously, but something that you will always remember. Like, I will definitely never forget the first story. The story's name is, of course, Nails and Eyes. And every time I come across nails and, somebody putting on contact lenses, I get a reminder of this book. Yeah. So this is, I don't know how to describe this book, but this is a highly recommended book. I rated it a 4 star. So if you're looking for a short, crisp Japanese book that you do not know about or you haven't heard a lot about, underrated recommendation basically, I think this is a very nice book for you to choose because it so bizarre. Like, obviously, we all know about Miko Kawakami and Haruki Murakami. Haruki Murakami is very well known for how he writes like the bizarre things. But I think I didn't know about Kaori Fujino until I read this book, and I only thought that only Murakami writes something very bizarre. But I think if you're like reading Murakami stuff like very supernatural, and this book is not magical realism by the way, but if you like reading something very bizarre just like Murakami, I think this is also one book that you can go ahead with. Fourth in the list is Fathomless by Sadi Radhika. This is a poetry collection, and I've already spoken about this book in details, and I've already put up a review also of this book in my page. So this is a poetry collection about a woman or about anybody in general who is basically who has left home who have left home to venture out and live a life of his or her own. So keep missing their home, their mother, their father, their parents. I mean, a family in general, and how those things keeps us so deeply in deeply and emotionally in touch with our families, even when we are out of our home. I think when I was out from my home for 6 months or so, I always wanted to come back home immediately only after calling my mom. Like, I would call my mom and be like, I want to come back home ASAP. I think while I was reading this book, it all reminded me of the times when I was not at home and I was missing my home so much, and my mom and how she cooked good food. I was missing everything about home, and I think this book is so much about home, warmth, emotions that we carry when we are carrying all our bags and stuffs to other places. I think it is a very warm book, a very, just a sense of existence when you read a book like this. The next book is A Slight Angle by Ruth Farida. I was sent this book by Penguin, and I got an opportunity to read this book even before the entire world could. So that's a privilege. But at the same time, what do I think about this book is this book is it's a historical fiction set in the backdrop of 1920 India, when India was completely under British rule, and we were fighting and following Mahatma Gandhi to, for our independence from British India. No, British, sorry. And a lot of characters in this book who have their own stories to tell. We also follow a gay couple, gay relationships, and all of those things. I really liked reading this book because it was a spree kind of, but at the same time, because I don't really enjoy reading gay relationships or gay love stories or anything as such. So it was a little put down for me, but nice insight about Indian history. Not that it had a lot of things, but at least about Chauri Chaura, Dandi, March, and all of those things. So it was a very nice peek. So So it was a very nice way of educating people through a fiction book about all the incidents happened during 1920s and 1930s. I think it was a very nice initiative by the author to do it. I really liked it, but because of certain things in the book, I was put down a little bit, and I didn't end up loving it as much as I expected to love it. But yeah, it is not a bad book. Obviously, I really liked reading it. I would highly recommend this book, but uh, I personally, didn't like the gay relationship for them. Like, it makes me uncomfortable, even if it's from any kind of books. But book has a very nice writing, so you can also consider the author's writing and pick this book up. And also, the cover is very gorgeous. It's a hardbound, so yeah, no regrets. This book is Long Island by Com Toibin. Really liked this book. I have uh, talked about this book in detail. I have also watched the first part of this book, which is Brooklyn, which is also obviously adapted from the book itself. I loved the movie, and that is the reason I got my hands and read this book by Com Toibin, Long Island. And the ending was a little dramatic, and I know there'll probably come a third part as well because the way it ended. But at the same time, I really enjoyed it. It was it was as if I was watching a movie altogether. It was not as if I was reading a book. It was so smooth and flowy that I had a great time reading this book. I had a great experience, and I cannot thank Pan Macmillan for sending this book across to me because I really loved it. Um, I loved the experience of reading it altogether. So I recommend this book? Of course I do. So this book is basically about Eilish, whom we see that she has returned from her hometown after her sister is dead. Her sister is dead. She comes to Ireland, and then towards the end of the first movie or the first book, Eilish moves back to America to her husband, to her secret husband, and her husband that nobody knows about except for her mother, and she moves back to her husband in the first part. So in the second part, we see that it is 20 years later that she moves from Ireland, and we follow Eilish again. She now has two children, and we see that one fine day somebody knocks into her door with a message that I think I cannot spell the message, with a very unfortunate news from her own family, and she is broke. She is like completely shattered, and she doesn't know what to do. And then she decides to visit her mom because it's been long since she visited her. And then she also books tickets for her children, and she then goes to Ireland once again, and her children later they follow her as well. But once she has gone back to Ireland, she kind of comes in contact with her long gone lover, Jim Farrell, and Jim Farrell is basically now in love with Nancy, and he's planning to get married to her. But only after Eilish comes back to Ireland do they meet, and things just go upside down. And towards the end, we see a lot of dramatic things happening. So I think the drama could have been a little less, but again, I think because I was feeling like watching a movie. So as for the if you consider this as a movie, I think the drama was quite essential. But again, I really want this book to be also adapted into a movie because the experience of watching the first book as a movie was great, and while I was also reading the book, I was experiencing a movie right in front of my eyes. So I would really want to see how they, adapt this all together. So yeah, really interesting. Next book is Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. I have not heard a lot of people talk about it, but I just randomly bought it from a bookstore, and I was pleasantly surprised by how it turned out to be, because we see a girl whose father has recently lost his eyesight while working in the factory. So there's nobody to run the family. So she is sent to a painter, Johann Veneer. Johann Veneer is, by the way, not a fictional character. He exists in real life as well. So she's sent to Johann Veneer's household to look after their children, and to specifically to also clean his studio. So she's very particular about keeping things in order. In that case, her mother suggested that she should go and work there so that they can also support the family. So she can only come back in Sundays to meet her family, and she is sent to Johan Vanier's household, and there she is, and there she gets associated with the painter who is very introvert, and he's always busy with his own self. He's never seen moving about in the entire household because he's busy at his workstation. And whenever he's not there, she goes into the room and cleans his entire studio and puts everything right into the place that it was there, so that it does not look as if it was tampered with. And I think that the book did a really amazing job. I really liked it. The writing is also very nice and lucid, and I didn't know before reading that book that there's somebody called Johan Vanier as a painter. But after reading this book, I googled and I got to know that Johan Vanier did exist, and the author was very inspired by his life, and that is the reason she kind of fictionalized his entire life and wrote this book, which is a very nice way of writing a book, or manuscript. And do I recommend this book? Of course, I do recommend it, and I really enjoyed reading it. But it's a little slow in some portions, so it may also bring you down to a slump. Really enjoyed reading this book, although it was a really slow paced kind of. We are left with only two books, and the next book is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov. I cannot talk about this book enough. I have had an entire video dedicated to this book, so I don't want to talk descriptively about this book, but I must tell that I do highly recommend this book to everybody and anybody who do not feel uncomfortable talking, discussing, or reading about pedophile, incest, or anything as such, because this book is not just that, but it is majorly themed like that. So you should know all the trigger warnings before reading this book. But I think that the author did an immaculately good, amazing job, incredibly well done, well written, and I really highly, highly, highly recommend this book, because I have never thought that I would love this book so much, and all the annotations that I have in the book is crazily done. Cannot recommend this book enough. I mean, I really love books that are not something very comforting. I like relatable books as well, but something that I cannot relate. But at the same time, I know that there must have happened a situation like that for the author to get inspiration to write a book like that. So this book is also the same. The author was very inspired by a real life incident, and then he wrote it. And if you don't know already about it, you should Google it, because that is how fascinating the book is. And I do highly recommend this book. I cannot not talk about it, and I think this is one of those books, just like Anna Karenina, that I really enjoy talking about, because Anna Karenina is one book that I have never stopped recommending ever since I read it. I think I read that book in 2021 or something like that. So ever since then, I have not stopped recommending and telling people that Anna Karenina is my favorite book. But I also want to tell people that Lolita is one of my favorite books again. And I don't know how it happens, but always classics ends up being my favorites. But yeah, I really enjoyed reading this book, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. So if I have to recommend just one book from this entire 10 books, I think this is the one book that I want to recommend. Also, if you are really, really thrilled by how I portray this, I think you should definitely go and first check all the trigger warnings before reading this book, because it is not for everybody. Again, it is a very subjective book, and not everybody and anybody will like it, because this talks and discusses things that is not very suitably likable for a lot of people. But I cannot stop talking about this book. So let's just move on to the last book and just wrap this video up. The last book is The Brothers Karamazov by Fyodor Dostoevsky. No, I didn't read this book obviously in the same month. We actually took what 3 months, nearly 3 months to complete this book, and I completed in the month of June. A very gigantic book. I like big books, but after reading this, I was so like my thirst for reading a big book was quenched, and I do not feel the need to read any more big books, because this took a lot of time for me to complete. And I think it was a great experience reading this book. A lot of philosophical book, a lot of philosophy and spirituality in this book has been discussed. And not that I do enjoy reading about philosophy, but I didn't dislike also at the same time. So this is like a 4.5 star for me, not a 5 star. Initially when I started reading this book, I thought that it's going to be a 5 star read of the year, because classics generally never disappoint me. But there were certain parts in this book that felt quite, you know, stretched, and dragged unnecessarily. Maybe those could have been cut down, and then the book would have been a masterpiece. But for now, it is not a masterpiece for me. I think I might also just remember the characters and not in the entire context of the book, maybe 10 years down the line. So, if that is the situation 10 years down the line, I might also give this book a reread, because what I have read today and what I will read 10 years down the line will have a different definition altogether, because I think then I will be a little more mature, and now I'm just a beginner. I do consider myself a beginner always. So yeah, I think uh, that is what I have decided for myself, that I will give this book a reread maybe 10, 20 years down the line, and see if my thoughts have progressed or changed positively. Because not that I have any negative things to talk about this book, but I think I still have to understand a lot about this book, like a lot more. This book do not just talk about the story of this family, the Karamazov family, but this also has to deal with a lot of mental traumatic situations or philosophies and all of those things. The human delirium of existence and all. So I think to understand a lot of heavy topics, I think my mind still needs to get prepared. And 10 years down the line, I think I'll be prepared to give it a reread and see if my thoughts do change. So with this, we come to an end of this video. Today's video was all about the books that I have read in the month of June, and I'm very impressed by the number of books that I have read. Enjoyed a few were average, and a few were like five. One was 5 star, but a few were amazingly written, and I do highly recommend them to everybody who comes for recommendation. So yeah, with this we come to an end of the video. If you like the video, please do consider liking the video, subscribing to my channel, and sticking by so that we can discuss more about books and literature in the near future. And also, please do not forget to comment down any of the recommendations or book videos or bookish things you want me to do. And we will see you in the next one. Until then, please do take care of yourself and your family. Keep reading good books. And we will be right back soon with another new video. Until then, please take care.